Gotta stretch it out today, boy. Yesterday was a rough one, huh? Pardon me. Um, Funny. Yesterday, I got more comments on yesterday's video than I've gotten on the last 10 videos combined. I don't know what it is. People love to hear the truth, but they don't normally tune into it. So yesterday was kind of a fun episode for me to kind of blow off some steam a little bit. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. It's a really good one. It's the Fact or Fiction Fly Shit Pepper video. I made mention in the comments, by the way. I don't know where it is. My sister came in here and messed up my room. So I got a thing of pepper that I actually keep with me all the time that she's now moved. Where did she put my freaking pepper shaker? Anyway, the fly shit and pepper thing is real to me. It's one of the best pieces of advice my dad ever gave me. So that's why I kind of live by that. Anyway, today, back to normal John. We're going to go back to some math stuff today. All right. And not geeky math stuff, but math. I want you to see the way that my brain thinks, right? My brain works. As much as I love watching Ken's brain works different than my brain does, right? When he's doing this challenge to $300, from $300 to whatever, he and Waylon just approach it differently, right? Than I do. I could very easily just go out there and say, you know what, we're just gonna run the Horseman every day, right? Like Ken could run the don't pass spread every day. Waylon could run the 410 ladder almost every day at a small level, right? And build, and hopefully avoid the one day that's disastrous. But they're going to grind that thing through and build it up. I approach it a little differently, and I want to take a look at some options. So today and tomorrow we're going to look at options. Of course, next week I'm off. When I come back, we'll start playing it out. But let's get into. Let's see just how hard this challenge of theirs really is. All right, so let me go over here and do this. We'll make sure that we are aware of why the challenge exists in the first place, right? Somebody said, and I believe that this is the case for most people. Most people don't have $5,000 that they're willing to risk in a given session. Okay, a lot of us have $5,000 in the bank. Maybe our gambling bankroll is $5,000 or $10,000 total, right? You're not bringing the whole thing to the casino to run some crazy strategy that you saw. You're just not doing it. Most people won't do that. Most people are comfortable with buying in for about $300 to $500 to maybe $1,000 at the most, which is smart, by the way. If you have $5,000 in the bank, you should be playing with about 1,000. But the casino doesn't care, right? To them, it's all your money. They want whatever you bought in for. They feel like they have the right to that money, right? They feel like they have the right to it. And I'll get back to you on that comment. They have the right to that money, and they don't, right? We have the right to spend our money how we want to, and we have to just be here, eyes wide open, on how the casino views that. They view it as theirs. We have to find ways to make that not be the case. We have to find ways to protect our bankroll, right? The bankroll is what you got. How are you risking it? How smart are you? Do you have discipline? Do you set goals? And are you emotionally stable? That formula altogether makes it work. It all makes it work. Today, I'm going to talk to you a lot about goals and discipline. That's my main focus today, is that as I go into this challenge idea. Ken says I have different ways to play. Yeah, you've played a lot of different ways. And what I said was you could go out there and just play don't pass spread every day. If you felt like it, you could just do the one thing that you know is going to pretty much work all the time. You can play a tiny level retirement plan, right? And probably get the thing done. We try different things, and it's not about which is the one way to play in terms of which strategy to play. It's about which is the one way to play here. That's what I want to talk about today. It doesn't matter what strategy you play. They all have their pros and cons and their risks and everything else. It's what do you want to do? How do you see yourself playing it out? So while those two are kind of bounce, I may bounce too back. Actually, I will probably do this at first with blackjack, right? Because I don't have a table yet. I can deal cards though, right? And you can approach this with any game you want to. It's finding the way that you want to play in that game that helps get to this goal, right? Let's see. I struggle with the emotionally stable part. That's funny. My wife likes to say, I'm a stable, healthy person. Trust me. And she makes this weird face. Anyway, let's get to it. I'm going to jump into our section today is going to be called Dig It or Dog It. And I'm just going to show you a couple ways to approach it. And I would love to get your opinions. And I have a prediction as to what people may like better, but I would like to see you vote on, as I go through what I'm about to show you, some plans and some strategies money wise to kind of get through it. Okay. So let's go. I'm going to share my screen really quick, actually. I should go here. Actually, I'm going to go here. Hold on one second. I'm going to go there. I think. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So there's two ways, generally speaking, to build this thing. Okay. To go from $300 to whatever you want, 100,000, pick a number. Doesn't matter. Do you want to grind through it, get it done, or do you want to attack with your money? That's the two decisions you can make. You can grind or you can attack. There's really no other way to get through this thing. You can't play what I would call normal. Like the guy that's going up with like 10 shooters and hoping for a hot run. You cannot play that way. You cannot build a bankroll, by the way, playing that way. That's literally home run or nothing. I'm going to burn my money and win or lose. You have to either have a grind mentality, a bump on the pickle strategy, right? Or maybe that same strategy at a higher level and attack the table a little harder. So it's up to you how you want to do it. I'm going to show you a couple of ways just on the money side of things to manage through it. All right. So let's go ahead and change my screen here. I'll go to the browser view. You can see my browser. Okay. Now I'm going to show you a couple of things that I did in the browser. And I'm actually going to, now that I've done this, I'm going to build this all into the Nexus app. I think the Nexus app needs to have these same kind of things. The first thing I want to show you is this. Before I get into how to make the money from $300, I talk a lot about Tony Leo. And if you've watched Tony Leo's free videos, they're out there. Watch them on Fran's Casino Tier show. He talks about the 27-3. That's one of his famous things, right? Win 27 times, lose 3 times. He's simulating in a month of play, right? In a month of play, if you can go 27-3, you'll be fine. When I moved to Vegas, I'm not going 30 days a month. I'm going to go 5 days a week. So 20, my thing is 24, right? If I go 24 times in a month, so 5 days a week, okay? And let's go with the same bankroll every day. If I went with $500 every day, and my goal was to win 210, and if you know me, you know why I'm saying 210. That's 330 inside for 2 hits and go home, right? That's 105, 105, 210 out. If this is your thing, okay, 24 days out of the month, 5 days a week, $500 in the bankroll. You want to go 440 inside to 330 to 220 and leave? That's great. 440 pays 140, right? The 330 pays 105. The 220 pays 70, and you're out of there with a few $100, right? That would be a way to play. I'm not saying you should, okay? A way to play. Well, what does it look like win-loss rate? If you're risking 500 to win 210, which is damn near 40%, right? You could go 17-7 and still make money, be $70, but your break-even point is 7 losses. You can go 17-7. That's more than a loss a week. You could lose $500 almost twice a week and still come out on top. That's what that means. And if we take a look at what that looks like in a form like this, here's how it goes. If you can go, again, $5,000 at risk or $500 at risk every day to win 200 and change, right? If you went 24-0, you found the perfect way to play, right? You'd be up $5,000. If you were 23-1, you'd be up $4,000. If you were 22-2, you'd be up $3,600. If you were 21-3, you're at $2,900. Here's the magic line for me, the 4 line. If you're 20-4, meaning every Friday you lost your $500, you lose the whole $500 once a week. You win 4 times, you lose once, right? You're making $2,200 a month as a side hustle. That would be the dream. If I could find a way that I could risk $500 and win 200, right? 4 out of 5 days a week, that's where you'd be. That's 80% win rate. That's not that easy to do, by the way. This is not like it's easy, but that would be a dream. That's why I highlighted it in a different color. That's the one I think that we could shoot for. But beyond that, you start getting down to like when you're 17-7, you're basically down twice. You're here. If you're 16-8, so you've lost twice a week, so you win 3 times a week, basically lose twice a week. You're at 8 losses, you're down 640, and then it goes, you lose $12,000. If you lose every day, if you have a strategy that sucks so bad, you lose 24 times in a row, It'll cost you $12,000 to have this experiment run. But that's the math or a spreadsheet behind Tony Leo's 27-3. Again, I did it 24-0, not 27-3, because I'm not willing to play 7 days a week. I'll go 5 days a week. Okay. But that's what it looks like. So there is a number, right? You can hear him talk and you can hear me talk about stuff. There's a number that you can attach to it. Now, again, if you change this and say, well, I'm going to risk 500. I'm only going to win 100. I'm looking to win $100. Okay. Now you can only lose 3 times. You go back over here because you lowered your win goal a little bit, right? It changes the whole thing, right? At 4, you're at break even instead of up. You got to be here. You got to be, only losing 3 times because you're not winning enough, right? There's this magical formula between what your win goal is versus what your risk amount is. So 200 out of 500, that seems to work pretty good. It's a lot of money, obviously, but you can get to 6 or 7 losses and still be okay. Even at 4, you're still at $2,000 up. So that's the way that I kind of work things in my head. I'm like, what is the right buy-in? What is the right win goal? And you have to have not a win goal for the day. It's not 500 to win 200. It's $500 24 days in a row to win a couple thousand. If you extrapolate it out and say, my win goal is not today. If I'm building a bankroll, like this challenge is, my win goal is not today. My win goal is over time. How do I get to where I need to be? This helps me figure out and visualize where am I looking to be and how should these numbers look to get there? Should this be 1,000 to win 200? Well, guess what? When you increase the bankroll and you lose the bankroll, you lessen the number of times you get to play before you break even. You can only lose 3 times now before you break even. And even then, it's half the profit. So dinking around with like, what's my actual buy-in? What's my actual attainable win goal based on how I plan to play? Now, again, the Horseman has a different out than the Dallas Drawdown does, or than the duck and cover does. If I did this for duck and cover, Horseman, whatever, these numbers change a little bit. So you do it yourself. And again, I'm going to build this into the bridge. I'm sorry, into the Nexus app, so we can all kind of play with this sort of numbering system. Anyway, why we're here today is $300. Now let's go here. The $300 challenge, right, was this. Can I build a bankroll from $300? Now this right here is a little different, I think, than what I saw Ken and Waylon sort of trying. I'm gonna set it up how they started doing it. And Ken, if I'm wrong, correct me. Okay. But if you're willing to risk, now here I'm risking as an example. Of the $300, I'm willing to risk 25% of it. It's about $75. And I'm going to win 20%. The buy-in, right? My risk level. How much of my total bankroll am I willing to risk every session? If I'm willing to risk about 25% of it, my buy-in is not 300. My buy-in is 75, which gives me about 4 or 5 cracks at this thing, not 1 crack at it. Okay. If my win goal is moderate, 20%, I'm looking to win $15. To me, that's 44 inside, 1 hit, and get the hell out of there. That's what that means to me. Maybe it's 22 inside with a couple of presses and a whatever, and you run home. You get, 3 cracks at 22 inside at this $75 buy-in level. It's not a lot of money. Okay. I think if I'm not mistaken, what Ken and Waylon have been doing is more of 100%. They're buying in for the whole 300 and still looking to win about 10%, right? Ken's like, buy for 300, win 30, get out. When you do that, it changes look at how the days change. This is the number of days it takes, right? If I go for the whole 300 to win about 10%, right? I can win $30. And if I add the 30 to the 300, now I have 330. I'm using 330 to win 35. And then I'm using 365 to win 35 and 400 to win 40. You see how this changes as you go? You stack your win on top of your bankroll. You put your whole bankroll at risk. If you're going to play a ladder system, you have to, right? 100% buy-in means I'm using my entire bankroll as leverage to play a ladder or something differently aggressive, keeping the win goal down. And every day the win stacks on top. 50 becomes 455, 60, right? You see how this is working out? Every day we stack it up until we get to $1,000. Takes about 2 weeks, 14 days. You should be at $1,000 in total bankroll. This is not enveloping. This is not putting money into excess or expenses or fun. This is just trying to build the master bankroll as quickly as I can using the bankroll that I'm willing to use. Now, if I want to only spend half my money and always have another chance in the bank to do it, I'm buying it for 150, I'm winning 15, and it takes me now 26 days to get there. You see that? How that stretches that time out, right? Smaller risk with the same win goal elongates the amount of time that it takes. And again, the way that you want to play dictates this. Do you want to do a 31? Do you want to do a ladder? Do you want to do a low strategy and like I do sometimes, the 1-3-2-4, and like go 5-hour 1-3-2-4 and pray for a little streak? How you want to play doesn't matter. It's what are you willing to risk versus what are you trying to win? That elongates the thing. Now, this shows you leveraging. This shows you stacking the win on top of the bankroll. Okay. You don't have to do that. You could. I'm going to do this one time, but I will undo it when I'm done here. Well, I'm going to take this. I'm going to stretch this out. What if I just did for 40 days, $300 every single day, right? And you're winning $15 or $30 a day, right? And your bankroll, let me just change that. Actually, I want that there. This buy-in here is going to be B6. I got to change this to this. $C1. If I take that, sorry about this, guys. I'm going to do it in real time here, though. There we go. So if you always bought in for $300, right? Or your bankroll was this, and you always bought in for 150. Or let's say it was you're always buying in for 300 every single time, right? And you're winning $30 every single day. $30 a day from $300 every day. It'll take you 25 days. All this does is stack the $30 on top every day. 30, 30, 30, 30, 30. So if you take the same 300 and win 30 a day, and now you're putting money on the stack, you could take this 30, maybe one day it's 40, and you put 30 in your master and 10 in your excess, whatever. This shows you, again, taking the full base risk, buying in with it, winning $30, 10%, and how does your bankroll grow? That's what this is trying to show you. So you have lots of ways to sort of play through this. I need to get these things back where they were. So hold on a second. There. Okay. So this compounding, you can do it the same bankroll, whatever. That's one way to approach the $300 challenge. Now, the other way to approach it is with what I call variable risk. And the reason why I have these blacked out on the right side here is to go variable risk. I'm going to show you what variable risk looks like. You ready? This is scary stuff, but this is way number 2. So let me go here and open it up for you. So variable risk does the same basic thing. Okay. We start with 300. We're going to risk it all for a minute. We're going to buy in for the whole 300. We're going to try and win a little more than half our money back. Maybe win 100.5. Okay. The 100.5 gets stacked on. The next day, my bankroll is 450. Buy in for the whole 450, right? The whole thing. And we're going to try and win about half of the 450, right? Maybe we win 250. Gets stacked up to 700. Win 400. It gets stacked up to 1,000. It takes 4 days to make $1,000 or 3 days to make $1,000 using this way. 100% of your bankroll, much higher win goal, right? More aggressive. This is going to be more this is more buy in for $300 and go 220 inside a couple times. That's what this is, like really aggressive stuff. Okay. And you're going to probably sputter. You're going to probably not make it. You're going to make it, not make it. You're going to burn $300 4 or 5 times trying to get out of the gate. Once you're out of the gate, when you get to $1,000, your risk goes from 100% to 50%. Now you have 2 cracks out of the thousands. Now you're buying in for 5. You're actually buying in for less than before. Same win goal. Once you get to about 2,000 or $3,000, your risk goes down again. You're going to buy in for 40%. So instead of buying in for 1,500, right, you're buying in for a little less. Get to $5,000, your risk is 20%. So you're always going to have, a $1,000 buy-in or 20% of your master bankroll. You'll start having more cracks at it. In the beginning, you got to use it all to get there. Then you start building up Now I have 2 bullets. Now I have 3 bullets. Now I have 4 bullets. Now I have 5 bullets. So you start building up bullets. As you win, you stack, right? As the stack gets bigger, even though we're reducing the risk, now I'm at lower risk than this guy was. This guy over here was at, when we first started this, he was at 25% risk, right? I'm actually at lower risk. If you can sustain this for a few times, your risk actually goes down. My bankroll gets big enough, my risk can go down. My buy-ins are more reasonable. And my win goal stays the same. So varying your risk, meaning go bigger earlier to jumpstart the bankroll, and then wean down how much you're willing to risk every day so you're at a stable 20% risk of your master bankroll. 20% of 9,000 is still $2,000, and you're still winning about $1,000, and you're going up by big numbers every day. And again, winning 55% is devilishly hard, right? When I do this live, I will do it both ways. I'm going to play my game with 2 bankrolls. I'm going to have 2 guys at $300. One guy's going to play it this way, very low risk, right? Very low risk, but still leveraging it up. One guy's going to play it with the variable risk, and we're going to leverage it up still, but we're going to leverage it up with a much bigger win percentage. And that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it these 2 ways, not the standard or stable $300 the whole way through. I'm not going to use the same 300 the whole way through. I'm going to alter the buy-in based on my bankroll. So I will, in this scenario here, always take or ensure that I have 2 or 3 cracks at it in the bankroll, always. From the beginning, $300. We're gonna take 3 cracks or 4 cracks at $75 to try and kickstart this thing. Over here, I'm gonna be all in with this guy. We're gonna use leveraging to do it. This, by the way, is how I did it before. When I did the $100,000 challenge before, I did it this way. My win goal was 20%, not 50%. So it took me a lot longer to get there. It took me 200 and some and you can see lowering the win goal in 40 days is $8,000. If I go to 50%, I can get to $100,000 in that same amount of time. So the win goal really matters. All right. That's my 2 ways that I'm going to actually do this. Okay. One way, again, not the full bankroll, pretty small win goal, and build it up incrementally, right? I'd like to get to about $1,000 within a month, right? This will probably be 20%, not 15%. Maybe it'll be, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe 15%. We'll see. That'll still get me there to $1,000 in about 30 days. That's probably what I'll do for the first guy. The second guy, we're gonna do the same $300 starting bid, but we're gonna vary it. We're gonna go all in for 3 days, and then we're gonna go half in for a few days. Then we're gonna go less than half in for a while. Then we're gonna be at 20%. I'm gonna build up as we go. Those are my 2 ways of approaching it. Now, in chat, I'm certain that there are those of you who go, "This is stupid, crazy town." I haven't even seen what Ken wrote yet. There are those of you who are going to say, "That's genius. Why haven't I thought of this?" There are those of you who are going to say, even as conservative as I am, this still feels risky because we're stacking up and we're using bigger portions of this. But I think you have to grow the bankroll with your wins to buy in for more so that the 15, 20% is more meaningful. So I'm a believer in leveraging my wins into my master, using the master for bigger buy-ins. Bigger buy-ins mean bigger bet sizes. I can still get out of here in 2, 3, 4 hits, right? Just with bigger money. So the $100 buy-in now becomes 66 inside, and it's a 1 hit. It's still 1 hit and out, right? We're still looking at 1 hit and going home, or 1 hit and losing it all, and I got 3 more cracks at it. That's the approach, right? There will be no envelopes in this challenge unless I go over the win goal, right? Whatever win goal I've got, if I go over the win goal, that gets enveloped. That's going to become excess and whatever else. Everything else, 100% of it besides excess, goes into building the bankroll to whatever number we decide to build it to. First was 1,000. The first goal is 1,000. The second goal is 10,000. So everything goes into the bankroll unless I'm over the goal. If I'm over the goal and I'm behind schedule, the whole thing goes in. If I'm over goal and I'm at schedule, the excess goes into excess, and we can play fun stuff with that later on. So I'm going to manage the envelope system a little bit differently, and this is how I'm going to look at it. All right. Let's see. Ken says, time, not fast enough, win more, risk more, action, jackson, right? That's exactly right. And that's why I'm saying this side here is way more risky, right? The right side for the 3 days is super risky, right? To me, I optimize for time. What I'm most scared about in the casino, Ken, as you know, is time. I don't want to be there very long. If I'm trying to build a bankroll, I want to get in. I want to get out as fast as I can. This is going to use more bankroll, and I will probably burn before I get out of the gate. I may burn $300 5 times getting out of the gate. Once I'm out of the gate, then we're having a different conversation. Over here, way more conservative. And again, you can see how the time difference, right? You can get to your goals in less days than this guy does. But this guy here never really puts the $300 at risk. He's putting $75 at risk. This guy here is going all in for 3 days. So it'll be an interesting comparison. And I want to see again in chat. I'm going to go to chat in a minute here and take a look at some Q&A and see what you all think about those two. Actually, there was other ways to play too. I deleted some when I was playing around here earlier. Other ways to approach it, but this is the way I see it. I'm going to take my wins and stack them up. Take my wins and stack them up. The difference between these two players is how much of my bankroll am I willing to put on the table, or bring to the session, either 25% or 100%. My God, how much of what I brought in am I using? What's my goal? 50 or 15. That's the difference maker, right? This is the big one. It's not so much how much you're bringing; it's what the goal is. Getting to 50% is a bitch. Let me tell you something. All right. There we go. Let's see here. Yeah, if I can't buy in again, this guy's going to have one. He's going to lose, right? That's why I'm going to do it twice, right? If I can't buy in again, put that back up there. Oh, I lost it. Can't buy in again. This guy here may never get out of the gate. He may lose the first day and be done. It may just never work. I'll play him again a couple times, but for the purposes of the challenge, he may just never get out of the gate. This is going to take luck. This is going to take a lot of luck to get through. This one over here, a little more grindy, a little more time. So I think it's going to be fun to watch these two go and watch everybody's reaction to it. So there it is. All right. Let's see. I'm going to go over here. Hold on one second. Let me get to this view and this here. Okay. Let me look at some of the comments out here and let's see what people say. Yeah, and this is going to be no, by the way. He's saying about no. This is going to be no cheating. It's no winning a jackpot. It's just playing the way, right? Just playing the ways. Let's see. It sounds so easy. Yeah, the Dallas drawdown seems easy. It does, and I'll probably go that way, believe it or not, earlier on, because that's a better way to get out quick than trying to get, again, if you think about this too, winning $10, winning $150. If I'm going to bet, I'm not sharing my screen again. Let me go back to the screen. Okay. If I'm trying to win $10, right? Let's use this as an example. Actually, we can use this one here too. I'm trying to win $10 and I'm betting $5 at a time. I got to win twice. I got to win twice before I lose. Yeah, can we all agree on that? If I'm trying to win $150, but I'm betting $5 at a time, how many times I got to win before I lose? I got to win 10 times before I lose. Or more, I got to win 75 times before I lose, right? It's almost impossible to win these types of numbers, 50% of your bankroll, with the smallest possible bet. That's where you have to weigh it out. How many times do I have to win to get there? This is a 1 time or 2 times win and I'm out. This over here also is a 1 or 2 time win, but if I lose it, I lose it all, right? It's a risk reward thing. How many times do you have to win to get to the goal? The grinder strategies, right? The laddering, the martingaling, the other things that people do, the real grinder, the horseman is a great example of this, right? You're winning $5, $10 at a time. Fine down here, 1, 2 units at a time, you're okay. Over here, because you have such a small buy-in, your units can't be more than $10. So I got to win 15, 20 times to get there. I got to win 15 or 20 units to get to where I want to be at a horseman at that level. This makes more sense to me to go a little bigger, not so much aggressive, but bigger bet sizing to reduce that time factor. I want to reduce the number of wins that it takes to get there if I can. So we're going to try it both ways. We're going to do a little grindy over here, A little more aggressive over here. I'm going to play two different ways as we go through it. You'll see what I mean when I play player one, player two. We'll see what their experiences are like. This guy here will probably never be sweating. He'll be pissed off if he loses his $85, but he won't be sweating. This guy over here will be sweating for a long time. For at least a week or two, he'll be sweating bullets trying to get through it. But I want you to see the difference between the two mindsets, right? Between grinding and going. There's a way different mindset. There's a way different level of aggression. There's a way different level of emotion, right? I'm not going to care on a rough day over here. I'm going to be pissed off when I have a rough day over here. And you're going to see that in me. When I play this, you're going to see my emotions swing. And that is what I want. I want you to see that. I hope that hope I get through the first 3 days so I can keep playing. And then we start seeing the emotional swings that happen over here. I really hope that that's it. I don't mind when I lose on live TV. It doesn't matter that I lose so much. What I do care about, go back over here again. What I do care about is that if it goes for a while, then you can see the swing. And I want you to really see the swing and feel the swing. I'm doing this on purpose this way because we teach both ways, right? I see merit in both styles of play, right? The higher leverage, higher goal, lower leverage, more grind. I've played both ways. I see the point of both things. I want y'all to see it live. And that's how I'm going to do it. That's my plan. So you tell me again in chat, what do y'all think of the way? Yeah, I put, because time, for me personally, Ken, it's not that it's not enough action. I think you're confusing my want to go with bigger bets as wanting more action. What I want is less action. I hope I'm trying to make that make sense. I want less action. I want quick and be done. I don't want to have to sweat for very long. I'm okay with the bigger bet sizing. I just don't want to be there very long. Mine is not action, right? It's not an action conversation to me. It's a time conversation. It's too many times at risk gives them too many shots at it. And that's what that's what way number 2 says to me. So yeah. Okay. So let's see. Victor says you literally have to run straight up roulette hit. Oh yeah. There's no way. I'm not doing roulette that way. If I do roulette, it'll be the dozens, right? Simple way of doing it. Mike's can do it too. Great. That's awesome. And again, I think what Ken has hit on, and Waylon to some extent, but more so Ken, is doing it different ways, right? Waylon's playing more strategies, right? Ken will do blackjack and Bach, and right. Same thing. I'm going to do blackjack, Bach, roulette. I'm going to change it up every day. We're going to do different things every day to change it up. So it'll be interesting, I think, to watch how it all goes. I think it's going to be fun. So, let's see. Not realistic, but I did it twice. I mean, it's not realistic, but I've done this twice now. So we'll do it. I'll do that variable thing a third time, and we'll talk through it. It's only the first, 3-4 days that's really messed up, right? If you don't get out of the gate, you never get out of the gate. It's tough. So anyway, let's see. Ken says it's not realistic, but you turn it into $1,000, right? And again, you did it differently. You grind, use the envelopes, and you show discipline. Isn't that the whole point? Right? The whole point is to show a disciplined way of doing it, right? So I think there's multiple ways to be disciplined. And I think even though the bet sizing is bigger, you're going to hate it. It's still a very disciplined way of looking at the picture. More aggressive, but still very disciplined. So, all right, there we go. Yeah, right. No, and again, I want to make sure that we're in lockstep on what's happening here. And I want to make sure, Ken, that you, before you put your video out where you slam me, that you classify what I'm saying correctly. Okay. Make sure that we really all understand this. Okay. Definitely less action, more time, more action, less time. You can't optimize for both. You got to pick a side. You got to grind with low dollars, right? Put less at risk to win less and grind this thing out a little slower. Right? Ken didn't get to $1,000 in 2 days, right? Over here, it's more risk for less time. This is 1 or 2 hits. This is probably, well, in the early stages, it's a little bit, right? In the early stages here, the more hits or the less hits you need to get out of Dodge. That's the whole difference. And if you look at this thing, it's the same mentality, right? in general. Take my win, stack it up, buy in for more. Take a bigger win, stack it up, buy in for more. Take a bigger win, stack it up. It's the same. The difference is how much of the bankroll goes out there. And because more bankroll goes out, the bets can be bigger and the time can be reduced. That's it. It's A versus B. I'm gonna run A versus B and see it. And I hope that I'm explaining that well enough to make it make sense. Am I advocating that you burn 100% of your bankroll? No. Am I showing you a way to do it from that small level? Yes. I'm going to give it a shot. We're going to give this thing a run and do the variable risk. And again, right, if we have a good couple of runs here, we'll be okay. If I can get past day 3, we'll be in good shape. Then I got a couple days, then I got a couple of more bullets, and we can do it even at a lower level. So you'll see how this works out. Anyway, that's the plan. We're going to do it 2 ways. Love it or hate it, I'm doing it 2 ways. Grinder. They're both grinders. One's just going to grind for a whole lot less time. And that's it. All right, I'm out of here. Let's see. I think that's it. I think the only thing I got left in chat is Ken yelling at me. So good. Put your video out and yell at me, Ken. But I think this is more what you did. I think this is more the method that you took the first time through. Unless your buying was always, I forget if your buying was always 300 and you're just winning 10% of the 300 every time. If that was the way, instead of taking a smaller chunk of the bankroll. This way is actually a little more conservative. It's taking a smaller chunk of the bankroll versus taking the whole bankroll to win $30. So this is actually probably more conservative than what you did. This is way more conservative than either of us did. So we'll have some fun with it. You'll have a good day. I'm going to bug out of here, get to work. Hope that makes sense. Can I get George and throw it? No, I'm throwing my own damn dice, Gary. I'll be good. Let's see. You are the starting bankroll, Hondo, is $300. That's it. You get $300 and that's all you get. So this way here will make the $300 last longer. This way here, I might burn it on day 1, right? You only get you don't get another shot at it. If I burn the $300, I will call this guy a loser, but I'm still going to play this way. We're still going to play it to get the eyeball comparison. I'll still show him playing, but we'll call him a loser on day 1 if I burn it. So that's just to be fair. I will not make this part of the challenge, but I'm going to still play them side by side so you can see it. I think it's important to see them both. All right. 16 sessions is, well, it's 16 sessions, Ken. I'm just saying, when I say time, it's not number of sessions. I'm talking about throws at the table, right? I'm talking about throws. It's more about how many times my bets are exposed, right? So I'm trying to like not win 5 at a time 10 times. I'd rather, I don't want to win $5 6 times to win 30. I'd rather win $15 twice to win 30. If that makes sense, right? That's kind of what the difference to me is. Winning $5 twice versus winning $10 once, right? It's a bet. And this here, it's the same thing. It's bet sizing. This buy-in at 22 inside takes 2 wins to get $10. This buy-in at 44 inside takes 1 win to win $10. Which way do you want to play? That's what these 2 charts really signify to me, right? Winning $10 $5 at a time, or winning $10 $10 at a time, right? To win $10 $10 at a time takes more risk, bigger bet size to do it. To win twice, even though it's only $5, you still have to have your money out there for two rolls or 2 outcomes, which makes it harder. You're betting black or red at $5 a shot. You got to win twice to win $10. You put $10 out there, you got to win once. And that's literally that's what the difference between bet sizing and time is to me. So anyway, I'm not playing roulette that way, but that's the mentality. Hope it makes sense. All right. I'm out of here, guys. You have a good day. Looking forward to your shout back, Ken. And yeah. Happy what is today? Oh my God, it's hump day already. Happy hump day all. And I will see you I'll see you tomorrow for the last show of the week, where I will start rolling out some practice runs at what some of these things might look like for us. We'll start taking some shots at it, and you'll see the kind of the ways I'm kind of formulating how to play. But this is it. This is how my brain works. This is how I think through, what do I need to play? What does it look like if I win, lose, whatever? And that's where like this setup and breakdown thing is, right? Again, if I'm going to bring in, $300 a session and I'm looking to win 30, like that's what this is for. I can go 22-2 and still be up $60 for the month. Like this is kind of the thing. This is the way that we look at how do I stretch it out? So, all right, have a good one. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.